Welcome back to Everlasting Summer, and we're still in the Miku route, which is, I don't think it's become Miku route anymore. It's like, become everyone route. We are on run from the horrified cat. By the way, this is the smartest decision I ever see in any horror storyline. There are so many bad things happen here. Let's go out. Right, actually, yeah? No one think about it? All this Friday 13 movies? Just go. It's haunted house. Let's go out. The summer sun was unbearably scorching, making the absent melt. Everything a few hundred feet away. The road, the trees, the grass, the sky was melting in bright heat haze that looked more like a burning fog. I was streaming. Really streaming at this point? Like, come on, Twitch. Oh, it was streaming with sweat. Okay, sorry. I was streaming with sweat and was starting to think that I was getting sunstroke. Sure, it would have been a great idea to bring more water with us, but back when we were getting only things we could think of was getting our asses as far as possible from that damn camp. Eventually I felt like I was about to lose conscience. Only the witched thrill of gross hops keep me in touch with reality. Of course, this hellish noon is indeed their favorite part of the day. They couldn't care less about the scorched heat, zero humidity, or the lack of any kind of air movement. On the contrary, they felt great. It was a perfect backdrop for the fine act of their last apocalyptic symphony. We probably should have stayed in the camp after all. Or at least we could have started this hike later, closer to evening, or now, because night is scary too, and because you will have better probability to get someone moving with his car here at this time than later. I thought wandering in the unknown country road at night is hardly a good idea either. The sound of a stiff cry came from behind me. 100 feet away, Alicia was barely holding up Lena, keeping her from collapsing on the ground. I dashed up to them. What's the matter? She fainted. I helped carry Lena out the roadside. There was at last some shade from a small grove. And that concluded our hike, said Masha in gloomy mode, sinking down to the grass. I warned you. Fine, but what does it change now? We've been traveling for the last couple of hours, so thinking of heading back to the camp was pointless. Well, at last until the evening, we were the heat while dressing a bit. And we still haven't seen a single car. I turned around and looked at the road. He pulled off his shirt and began to wave the sweat out of it. Alicia was trying to revive Lena. If that sunstroke... Stop! She shot at me. That is indeed a sunstroke. We getting ourselves in deep trouble. She won't make it anyway. I walked over the road, shielded my eye from the sun with my hand, and started to distance. Nothing but the same asphalt thread leading beyond the horizon, with no sign of civilization, or any sign of human precision at all. It was like we the only people left, not only in the camp but in the whole boat. Damn. So if you think about what has happened before, it's really not a big surprise. I went back to the other and sat down on the lawn. I guess we have 2 scouts ahead. I look at Router. to check what's ahead. Maybe we could find something and you just stay here for a while. But she can't go anywhere right now anyway. Lena was lying with her eyes closed and grabbed for air. Okay, go ahead, said Misha quickly. It just occurred to me that I plan to have a talk with her. But it's definitely not the time for that now. Let's go. Router struggled to shoulder and follow me. We kept walking for 15 minutes. The girls were left far behind. What do you think? Any chance of meeting somebody? He asked quickly. I don't know. I built an iron stone. I really wanted to refer from talking now. The endless field stretched to the horizon, seriously speaking of patch of tree hill. The landscape looked so typical and tranquil that in fact it caused an anxiety. If we'd found ourselves on a plain of a hill, at last we could expect to be attacked from just anywhere, so we could brace ourselves and prepare for worst. Now we felt just like a little droplet of paint on the canvas of the nameless painter who painted the summer in central Russia. Or whatever we are now. All this only made our fear stronger. Look! Yelled Rotter, narrowed my eyes and saw the road took her turn. So what's so special? This must be something there that makes you think that. Well, since it's a turn, you've been walking straight forward all this time, and now? Okay, let's go and look. Oh shit. Oh shit. A few minutes we finally came to the gates of the Souvenir Pointer camp. I collapsed down the curb and buried my face in the hand. I didn't feel scared. In fact, I didn't feel any emotion at all, just the figure and the void inside of me. But how? Mumbled Router. No idea. Besides, what's that different anyway? It's not like this is any stranger than anything else that happened to me in the last few days. I looked at him, feeling exhausted. Router's lips were trembled, and expression of a deathly horror was pasted on his face. Let's go back to fetch the girl. I didn't wait for him and just shuffled off back to where we left him. Found anything? Asked Masha, showing some strawberry and certain origin. We did a camp. What camp? She looked surprised. Our camp. What? Masha looked as silly now, so I couldn't help finish an ironic smile. But you were going forward, not backward. Forward, and Sovanek is there. Hey, stop joking, she examined. I'm dead serious. What? Said Alicia quietly. She was sitting down in the grass and cuddled the hand of Lena, who was still sleeping. Yeah, just like that, said Charlie, and dropped down to the ground. Okay, it means we headed there. You want to go back? Seriously? I looked at Masha's knee and suddenly realized that I can't wait anymore. Hey, what's happened with you? What do you mean? Her look screamed that now isn't the time for phrase chat. You were scared to death yesterday, yet today you have this happen to me all the time at the door. But what's the point of panicking? She cracked a barely visible smile. If I didn't know you, I would quite a bit my lips and turn away. But really, do I know her that well? Sure, we spent so many years together, but if you get down to it, I always thought more about myself. Or rather, I always believed that she was completely satisfied. And she was always the same to me. The same as just about anything, even when we're breaking up, as if she wasn't a real person, just my favorite article of clothing. Thinking about it, I have no idea what's going on in her soul. I just never cared about it. Though her behavior like this under the circumstance doesn't seem more bizarre than anything else that happened to us. And if you think about that talk at the bench 2 evenings ago, she probably really is stronger than me. Hey, are you listening to me at all? Oh, sorry, I got carried away. So much has happened. She looked at me sternly. Let's get going to the camp, or whatever you want. If that's the same old camp, alright. In fact, it's not like we had any other choice. A few more hours and that scorched heat would only yield more casualty. But we have to carry her along. Yes, just a second, I'm figuring it out. I found 2 fairly long, sturdy sticks and a nearby grove. Coming back, I ordered Router to take his shirt off. He tried to object, but soon enough he realized that there was no use in arguing. I took off my shirt as well, and we made a sort of a stretch attached to the fabric and the bow. Will it hold? Masha gave us a advice, a questioning look, but ultimately gave it a few strong pull and strength to smile. It will, at last, until we reach the camp. Look! Oh, she fall. Sorry. What you did to me? Our shirts smell like men. Ew. It was hard to go into the heat, but it was even harder to carry and endure. That is Lena. Several times I almost fainted and barely caught myself halfway to the ground. Router felt even worse. Both Masha and Elsa were swapping place with him every now and then. Still, my bride won't allow me to take them to carry Lena even for a minute. Sure, it is silly to act like this under this circumstance, but I couldn't help myself. This is yet another flaw in my personality, along with the coldness, interactiveness to the other, even my loved one, and other less than noble trait. Finally, somehow we made it to the camp gate, and I collapsed to the grass and the shadow of an unknown pioneer statue completely worn out. It's actually our camp, Masha lingered to the word. And indeed, it looked the same. We have to carry her to the cabin, Alicia mentioned quickly. Yeah, I got up with the carrot effort and prepared to the last run. The obvious choice was all your cabin, most likely because we managed to come through the last night here without a major problem. At last, we are still alive. Me and Router were sprawled in anxiety in one bed, and the girls were under and dressing Lena in the other. Don't look, said Masha suddenly. It's not like there's anything worth looking at. I snarled at her, turning away, giving Router a harsh poke at the rib, making him follow my lead. We're going to get some water, and probably rumbling through the canteen too. Is there to go alone? Wanna come along? She grinned. No, thanks. At last, take that pipe with you. Dangerous to go alone. Take this pipe with you, I said instantly. Do you really think it will help? I slightly happily and closed my eye. Well, be careful then. The door closed after the second. You sleep? Router whispered Richmond, as if one could sleep here. At all the once I heard Lena moan from the other bed. I sat up on the envelope and looked at her. Lena was tossing and turning under the blanket. Suddenly, she opened her eyes and abruptly turning to face me. A devilish grin was frozen in her face. Shit. The same one I saw yesterday evening. Hot enough for you, huh? She burst into laughter. I felt shiver down from my spine. My ability to speak vanished. You, what? I asked her out of to sleep. I turned to him surprisingly. Look. My hand was Lena bed. What? He got to look what point first and then looked to me. Turned and saw Lena sleeping peacefully. Didn't you hear it? What? Her, Lena, was awakened and said, "Oh, it seemed like you got sunstruck too." He turned toward the wall. Ah, Lena is the evil one. But I am absolutely sure that I heard and saw it. Well, it was good piece true that the heat got to me at last. But it all seemed to be exactly like that time. And it wasn't Lena. At that very last, it's not the Lena I know, as if she possessed by the devil. Wow. I lie down and woolly blanket over my head. I really wanted to sleep, but the realization that I might never wake up again if I fell asleep now was keeping me up and running. I'm not sure how long I spent lying like that, trembling at every raster, but eventually the door crossed open and stepped out on the room. I barely peered out for under the blanket and caught a glimpse of Elsia and Masha entering with a bucket of water and some bags. I see, you want to bet Chukut here. Yes, Orta, I replied with a trembling voice, trying to flash a smile. Everything was okay. Seemed like it. I glanced at Lena yet again, but she was still sleeping quietly. Maybe it was indeed just my imagination. Surely, given a condition of such extreme emotional stress and physical fatigue, I might be seeing things. I got up with considerable effort, looking a cup from the table and scooped up some water. So, what are we doing next? We'll have to stay here for now. What Olga has called the police, muttered Alicia. Yeah, but everyone disappeared after that. In any case, until Lena comes to her senses, can't they be the police who take everyone like, this is a very dangerous place, let's go out, okay, and forget about us? Because we're stupid. I thought if I ever happened to see her like that again, I would frankly rather that she doesn't wake up. Elsia lay down on the Lena bed and Masha sat down next to me. Get some sleep. She gently stroked the top of my head. Can you really sleep with all this happening? We'll keep guard. You look really tired. I guess she was right. Okay, but just a nap. Wake me up before evening. She didn't say a word, just a smile instead. Promise, promise. I replied Masha quickly. I closed my eye and instantly tumbled into a dream. Dream and a dream and a dream and a dream. Here I've come again. The grasshoppers. This time it's their king, the huge swamp green monster with a really long curved leg, a swing that could match the wingspan of a large airline, and enormous patch black eye. He was hanging over me, grinning and spouting something really loud. I still didn't understand anything of their language, but judging by the tone, it was anything nice that you would hear on morning news. I wanted to get away, but he clutched me tightly with his worsted claw. I could hear my bone cracking, feel my rib breaking, precise my internal organ with their sharp splinters. I felt hundreds of hammers smashed inside my skull. My vision faded, and next morning, fountain blood and flesh were spread all over the place. That nice imagery, I jumped up, cold sweat, my own scream, still reverberated in the room. It took me several seconds to clear the demons in my eyes. I looked around frankly and realized that it was evening already and it was completely dark outside. Good grief, we didn't turn off the light yesterday. Masha was lying asleep next to me, while Router was crawled up into the floor. Lena was lying on the bed, tightly wrapped in the blanket. Yet, Alicia was nowhere to be seen. Hey, I woke Masha up with a few rough route. What? Slowly came to her senses. Did I ask you? Sorry, I fell asleep. She had such a guilty expression on her face that I felt sick. I couldn't have relied on her. At least I could have set up an alarm. I woke her up. Where's Alicia? I don't know, said Masha weirdly. Well, who does know? We were all asleep. Well, she was sleeping here and then her eye darted around guiltiness and then you fell asleep. She hung her head a loud, heavy sigh. Okay, oh, perfect, just perfect. I wound my fist in the table, making Masha jump. Okay, you sit here and we'll go to the find her. Alone? Her face suddenly looked at expression fight. Alone, wasn't it you who told me that it's not worth panicking? Yeah, but it's not. Oh, fine, I'll go alone. But, or do you really want to sit here with only Lena? Masha kept silence. It's dangerous to go alone. I noted that Router seemed to have fully awakened. And it's not dangerous for her to sit here all alone? I felt that there was no point in arguing, so I got up, grabbed my trusty pipe and headed for the door. In any case, given that people have been disappearing into the thin air, one can't feel safe anymore in any other company. Of course, it still could turn out that Alicia was just went somewhere. To the toilet, for example. Although, given how frightened she looked, I guess she would have waken up Masha for just held it till morning. Damn, anything but going all alone through the camp. I beside myself, pulled the handle and went outside. I swept my eyes across the landscape and then... Fuck! I saw Alicia, hanging high above the ground from the tree right to the front of the cabin. A sharp pain precise my timber and I collapsed to the ground. The horror was so overwhelming that I literally felt my whole body being bound in a steel chain. Blinded with fear, I barely managed to crawl back into the cabin and close the door. What happened? Should I answer her? Masha rushed over me. Don't look. That means she looked. Grabbed in her arms. Don't go outside. What's the matter? She reached out for the door handle, attempted to stop her, but I was so weak that I couldn't, only let our gross to despair. Open the door, Masha screamed and froze in her track. I gathered my last ounce of strength. I got up and kicked the door shut. In the next moment, Masha fainted and I fell back into my arms. I carried her to the bed and put down next to the shaking Router. His face told me that he definitely not interested in knowing what happened there. As though screaming woke Lena up, she rose slightly in her bed and gave us a glance. What's happening? She asked in a whisper. I didn't know how to reply. I felt screaming rise up in my throat, but I managed to muffle into a falling sigh. Lena was horrified, but she still didn't realize what exactly had happened here. Don't go outside. I moaned. Like Masha, she wasn't one to argue. An Operation silence ensued. Even the gross hub seemed quiet down in order to add this space to the situation. Masha was still lying on my lap, Routing was graven in the corner of the bed, and Lena was sitting in front of me with expression on doom and despair in her face. I stared at the door with unblinking gaze, waiting for the moment it will burst open, and my fear couldn't fit the concrete form: a homicide maniac, a monster, an alien. It was the horror of the unknowable darkness and emptiness. I wasn't afraid that I will be torn to places like Sylvia, or I will become a zombie like Juliana. I was afraid of despair, vanishing without a trace from this world. Masha let out a quiet moan. I just had such a nightmare. It wasn't a dream. She opened her eyes wide and looked at me with horror. Then there... Don't look. I should hesitate and embrace her. Lena started crying loudly, rubbed up and grabbed her against me, trembling all over. Long minutes drag and agonizing silence. So, what are we going to do now? I asked Masha through her tears. She didn't seem too self-confident. I thought we were all in the same situation. Time passed, yet nothing happened. We had to make a decision. I couldn't say that I came back to my senses after what I saw, but I still felt my mind clearing up a bit. I know one thing for certain. We can't stay here. And it wasn't because it was more dangerous here than anywhere else. It's just because I can't endure staying near to the corpses of Felicia. I bet it even more to get a worse expression from the girls. We have to go, I said quietly. I felt Masha and Lena hanging on me, even tired. We have to? Router stopped shaking and let bed. How are you feeling? I asked Lena. She said nothing. Can you walk? Probably. I gently escaped their embrace and get up. We have to run. At night we will be easier to go. But we... Masha tried to make a humble objection. Yeah, I know that we decided to stay, but now we have to go out of here. I turned to Router. You do realize that they couldn't see all that. They shouldn't see all that. He gave a barely whisper nod. I thought Router didn't know what happened to Alicia. It was obviously that his vivid imagination had congressed up to many gruesome theories during this time. That he was probably even more depressed than me. Okay, we'll go hold hand and go. I'll go first and lead the way. Masha, go next. Then Lena, then you. I looked at the girls. They were sitting with their head hanging down, so quickly. Ready? Nobody replied. This was obviously a useless question. One can never be ready to such a situation. I looked at Masha's hand, turned around and gave Lena and Router a serious look. Okay, now, shut your eyes and don't open them no matter what. You got that, right? Yes, Lena nodded. I still myself crossed open and opened the window, hold Masha's hand. Watch out for the step. Wow. You know, we will end it here in very depressing moment, but we are going to move again. So let us stop it here then. Okay, goodbye for now and see you next episode. This is get longer than I was expect. Much longer. So goodbye.